If you can give your full attention together now, I promise you that these people here will start working for you from now on. And I wonder what these successful people do in order to be successful in life. Are we any different from them? Are they smarter? Are they smarter? Do they have any other talents? Do they have a talent? Let me tell you something interesting. There is no difference in all my experience and knowledge. There is no difference, friends. There is no difference in talent and ability between the very successful and the less successful. So where does this difference come from? There is something interesting. One of them fights his enemies very well, and he doesn't give up. One of them is immediately defeated by his enemies. Well, I wonder where the enemy is. Where do those obstacles that hinder you, prevent your success, and do not take you to the point you want come from? Where do those obstacles come from? Actually, those obstacles seem to be outside. It is not your spouse, your mother, your father, your neighbor, or your uncle. It is not lack of money. It is not impossibility. It comes from the thought in your mind. In fact, it is a human being. In fact, it creates its own obstacles. If you can give your full attention together now, I promise you that these people here will start working for you from now on. There are neurons working for those who will not hinder us. There are trillions of neurons in our brains. They work for us or they block us. They stop us. Are you aware of something that if you can use your brain well, that is your employees? If you can use your neurons very well, then I wonder what will happen if you use hundreds of thousands of trillions of neurons very well. What will happen if you don't use them very well and others start using them? What will happen if they start to affect you all the time? Look, let me tell you something interesting. Then let's explore and find out together how you can use it very briefly, friends. This place is very important, incredibly important. The brain and thought actually work with great guidance. If you take your brain and thoughts with your prejudices and past knowledge, it is not possible. If you can realize this place very well, now there will be an important change in your life, in your whole life, and in your earnings. Do you know what a routine life is for the brain, friends? It is a comfort zone. It is a trust zone. Essentially, it is an extremely safe space. If this has started to happen for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, the brain says that I am safe. I get up in the morning, I go to work, I come back, I want bosses, I earn less, I have problems, but the whole life is essentially known. It means it takes place in an environment, music. It doesn't matter whether you are satisfied or not, because the brain looks for trust the most. If it is not for trust, it is okay for that. The fact that you know it is wrong will not change anything. Music. You know very well that it will not change your life and your earnings in the routine work you are currently doing. If you want to earn better and more, let's be honest, how many times did you all promise together that I will wake up early in the morning and walk a little bit and run a little? Who promised? Let me see. It is wonderful. It is amazing. Now the second question was coming, and in the morning the presentation went. The hands decreased to 5 people. It means we are stuck. Something happens that you promise, but you can't get it. Why can't we? Because we can't get out of our habit. You wake up one morning and you can't go. However, you know it's right to go, but we can't go. For now, when you are in such an environment, can you really change your earnings in your life? Music, friends, the mind is one of the most important points. One of them is making a promise. You have to be able to make a promise when you leave here. It's about what you will gain about your life. It's about what you will do. Because a word means an intention. You give an order to your brain. In fact, if you give the order to your brain, it will move in the direction you give the order. That order is a very important thing that you should not forget. Can you picture it in your mind before you leave here to live your life? Can you promise this to yourself, not to anyone else? Well, then can you promise that you will not forget that promise? Well, friends, I promise you, it is impossible for you not to achieve what I have.